Welcome to Becoming a Sleep Consultant. I'm your host, Jayne Havens, a certified sleep consultant and founder of both Snooze Fest by Jayne Havens and Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. On this podcast, I'll be discussing the business side of sleep consulting. You'll have an insider's view on launching, growing, and even scaling a sleep consulting business. This is not a podcast about sleep training. This is a podcast about business building and entrepreneurship. Welcome back to the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to tune into this show. Truly, it means the world to me, and I hope the message that I'm about to share with you resonates. Today, I want to talk about something that holds so many people back, not just in sleep consulting, but in life in general, and that's the fear of failure. The endless cycle of thinking and worrying about whether or not you'll be successful instead of actually just taking action. If you've been sitting on the fence, questioning whether you have what it takes, whether you'll get clients, whether this will work for you, this episode is one you won't want to miss. Because here's the truth. All that time that you spend worrying, it's not actually getting you anywhere. Success isn't about overthinking. Success is about doing. Success is about taking action. So let's get into it. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they get stuck in what I call the what if spiral. What if I fail? What if no one hires me? What if I don't know how to get my clients the results that they're hoping for? It's so easy to let those thoughts consume you. But here's the thing. Those thoughts don't change anything. They don't move the needle. They just keep you stuck in the same place day after day, month after month. And the irony of all of this, the irony is that the only way to know if you'll be successful is if you actually start, if you actually try, because success doesn't happen in your head. It happens when you take action. And I promise you, the hardest part is just saying yes to yourself. Once you do that, once you take that very first step towards your goals, everything really truly does start to feel different. Because I teach people how to grow successful businesses for a living, trust me when I say that the feelings that you're having are normal. For most, the first step is terrifying. It's vulnerable. It's uncomfortable. You're putting yourself out there in a way you never have before. But here's the upside. Once you take that step, once you say yes, 100% it gets easier. You start to build momentum. You start to see progress. And more importantly, you prove to yourself that you can do the hard thing. Think about any change that you've made in your life. Maybe it was becoming a parent. Maybe it was when you started a new job or you moved to a new city. In the beginning, it felt overwhelming, maybe even impossible. But then you figured it out. You grew, you adapted, and now it's just your life. The same thing happens when you start your business. It feels scary at first, and then once you get going, you wonder why you waited so long. So here's a part of the story that I feel like nobody talks about enough. After you push past that fear, after you take the leap, after you take the first step, it actually starts to get fun. You get to build something that's yours. You get to help families in real and meaningful ways. You get to grow in ways you never expected. The other day, a CPSM graduate slid into my DMs to report that she had earned her first $10,000 month. She had been in business for 3 years, and this milestone was a really big deal. I don't think when she started her business 3 years ago, did she ever imagine that she would earn $10,000 in a month while supporting families virtually and simultaneously caring for her own 2 children. Sometimes we exceed our own dreams and expectations, and truly that is the most exciting part of all of this. Another Center for Pediatric Sleep Management grad reported that she spoke at a corporate event for moms who worked at a Fortune 500 company. This was something that was for sure outside of her comfort zone, but instead of doubting herself and counting herself out, she rose to the occasion and made sure that she showed up prepared, and she nailed it. I'm telling you, growing your business and growing as an entrepreneur is fun. There's so much joy and fulfillment on the other side of fear. And I know that it's hard to see that when you're standing on the edge, wondering if you should take that jump. But I promise you, if you take that first step, you'll look back and realize that this was the moment that your trajectory changed for the better. So here's my challenge for you. What is one step, just one step that you could take today? Maybe it's finally enrolling in Center for Pediatric Sleep Management. Or perhaps, if you're already a sleep consultant, it's announcing your business publicly. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who could be a prolific referral partner for your business. Whatever that thing may be, do it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. Do it today. Because the truth is, you don't need to have it all figured out to be successful. You just need to start. Everything else will fall into place as you go. I hope this short and sweet episode gave you the push that you needed to stop stewing and start doing. You are capable of more than you realize, but the only way to prove that to yourself is to take action. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram, shoot me an email, and let me know how you plan to take action today. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Becoming a Sleep Consultant podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean so much to me if you would rate, review, and subscribe. When you rate, review, and subscribe, this helps the podcast reach a greater audience. I am so grateful for your support. If you would like to learn more about how you can become a certified sleep consultant, head over to my Facebook group, Becoming a Sleep Consultant, or to my website, thecpsm.com. Thanks so much, and I hope you will tune in for the next episode.